Hi all, and welcome to my review of this eBay incubator. I'm hoping to take you through some of the features as well as just kind of telling you about what I've done to the incubator myself to make it work properly, and kind of the story of how it's gone for me with the hatch rate and everything. Incubator, just first of all, on my review of it, it's definitely working. It's doing exactly what it needs to do. I've run 3 hatches through it, so this will be the fourth. I've been hatching quail, so I haven't done any other eggs through it. But it'll be the same principle really. With this incubator, I'll just take you through the features first. Obviously, you have the candling light here, which you can switch on and off. It's running off 220 currently, which is the plug out here. But you have got a 12 volt option as well. 12 volt option I've actually used. I had to go on a trip, which was about 5 hours. So I ran that off a battery, which was a 110 amp hour battery. And I ran it for the 5 hours. It kept the temperature perfectly stable. And it got the battery to about half empty really. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much battery it uses if you need to go that route. I know it's mainly there actually for if you have power cuts and things like that. You can plug a battery, you can get a battery in. But just as a warning, you can't run both powers plugged in at the same time, otherwise it overdoes the machine. It says that in the user manual, but I don't think when I first got it, I almost plugged them both in at the same time, thinking that I could leave that in there, and if the power failed, it would switch over. It doesn't work like that. Just going then on to, it's got automatic rollers. The rollers roll the eggs. One thing I've found, because it's a flat roller and it's rolling each egg, it tends to roll the eggs towards the pointy end, because obviously the eggs are uneven on both sides, so it ends up rolling them in. So I'll set the eggs with the fat side towards the wall, and slowly over time, pretty much every day I'll have to move them back out. So they will slowly roll their way into the middle, and these ones will roll their way into the middle as well, till they're eventually touching each other. I just presume when they're touching each other that they'll stop rolling, so I tend to once a day grab them, shift them all back out to the outside, and let them be. This incubator, going on to the settings here, you've got your temperature setting and your humidity here as well. My humidity is low because I've just opened the incubator and moved the eggs out, so it's slowly picking itself back up. You've got various settings here, so you've got chicken, duck, goose, pigeon, and other. I'm doing quail right now, so I used other. Other also allows you to adjust these temperature and humidity on your own, whereas these just come as presets. One of the things I've noticed with this incubator, which is obviously with a slightly cheaper incubator, is that to get the right temperature, I've had to run this incubator without eggs in it for a while to get an idea on what temperature I need to set it at. So for quails, I need 37.5 degrees, and if I put other thermometers in there to be able to track that, and you can see it's sitting on 37.8, so it's slightly warmer right now, which is obviously it's unstable because I had it open a second ago, but otherwise it generally sits very flat at 37.5. So that's the thing, is you have to run that for a bit to then figure out what is your setting on here that reflects the true 37.5 that you're after there. Just a bit of help on that as well. I got a cooking thermometer and I ran it in there, just in that hole, and literally just sat and looked at that temperature, and you can track. So I used two or three devices just to make sure I was getting the right temperature every single time. All those other devices linked up and they were exactly the same temperature, so I knew that is my setting for quail at 37.5. It has an alarm on it as well, so also so you can set what you want. That's going to set your temperature. Click it again, it's going to set your humidity. The humidity is not going to adjust up and down based off that. It is just it's just where your alarm is going to be. So when that humidity drops well below what it's supposed to be. I've cleared the alarm already because I had the box open. So when the alarm goes off, you can press the minus button and that will stop the alarm. You can press the positive button and that will turn the eggs at a faster rate just for a few seconds to show you that the rollers are working. These rollers can be moved apart, so you can put these into 2 different slots for larger eggs, but because these are the smallest eggs you kind of get, really, they're all really close together. If you have quail eggs, if you put this wider, the quail eggs tend to fall into the hole more, into the gap between the rollers. And with quail eggs, I've struggled. It didn't rotate them properly. I had to get them into a narrower gap so that it would rotate them properly. This incubator's got obviously forced airflow, so it's got fans, which ensures the entire incubator's got pretty much the same temperature throughout. As you can see down there, this is the thermometer that goes all the way down to the bottom there, and it kind of sits on that bottom plate. Bottom plate is plastic, so that's kind of what the eggs are supposed to eventually be put down onto and locked down, which will allow them to hatch on there and kind of run around and do what they want. I have put another mat down there. I do, as soon as when they're going to hatch, I'm putting the eggs down there. I put another mat down there, but I'll talk to you about that in another video that'll follow this up, that is to do with the modifications and the way things I do. When controlling the humidity, this incubator comes with these ports here, as well as pipes, which you can put a normal drink bottle on top of that will basically feed it water 24/7, as much water as you need. Problem is those channels go in and they run 3 channels like this across the whole incubator, and those channels tend to push the humidity far too high because it's obviously the whole length of the entire incubator. For me, I need to keep this at 50% humidity, or in that range. So what I've actually found is putting a dish in there. You can see it's a little like a sauce pot really, and because of the amount of surface area that you've got on that, it pretty much that keeps my temperature at about 50. So it ranges 55 to 45 throughout the day, kind of going up and down based on the actual room's humidity really. So I find that works. I can give you the measurements of that if you need, because that I found that I've played around with the surface area. So I first of all had some egg cups, and then I moved slightly bigger till I eventually got the right humidity. I've also done some modifications for when you need to raise the humidity to a higher percentage, like 80% during the lockdown period. I've modified the incubator to basically make that work, so I'll never have to top that up. And I'll show you how I did that in the next video. It definitely seems to be maintaining temperature. I haven't had any issues with that. And the humidity seems to be pretty good. That dish just alone, I think it's about that deep. I've topped that up every 3 days or so, so that's not that bad. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet. It's just pretty much you can hear the fan slightly running. You've also, don't throw this away, it comes with a cover that actually helps with some of the insulation, which is quite good. I found you find this is your heat, so this is the amount of energy and heat it's currently running. So right now it's heating, so that'll go right up. But what I found is with this lid on, you're getting a lot less usage, so it's not using more energy. Yeah, that's pretty much it really. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and give us a like and subscribe. I will be sending out other videos. Yeah, thank you.